What do you think it means to have good character? Do you think there's been a loss of good character in our society?
Good and bad get really tricky. Good and bad changes depending on the culture. Good and bad can change based on the family or the individual. Although I think there are things that we as humans generally accept as bad and things we generally accept as good, there is a level of subjectivity to it. But for the sake of the question, I would assume you mean somebody of high, upstanding, moral character, meaning that they show up in a way that is ethical and integrous. What does that mean? One, I would say it means that there's a level of integrity to how you show up, meaning how you present yourself is actually who you are, or at least the gap between who you present yourself as and who you actually are is pretty frickin' small. And that's really important. It's really important for you, not for others, because if you have a big, what I call identity gap, you're going to be very frustrated with how powerless you feel in the world and how hard it is for you to meaningfully move the needle in your life. And you can also feel very alone and isolated in that because you're literally disconnected from yourself. So for me, high character and integrity are linked in that you are showing up in the values that you present to the world. And I think this is really, really important. Imagine a world where people didn't lie. In energy, there is no falsehood. So we live in a human condition, and the only thing that can perceive, or that could be lied to, we could say, is our brain, right? In energy, there is no lie. Energy cannot conceal itself, it cannot hide itself, it cannot fake that it is something that it is not. It is what it is. And in the world of the spirit, that is very much the case. It is what it is. Humans can be lied to because we perceive through our level of understanding, and we use a brain that is highly subjective in its approach to life, which makes this world somewhat fun and enjoyable, which is why we do it. But the ability to believe a falsehood makes things a little bit more confusing here. So imagine a world where people didn't lie. They showed up purely in who they are. To me, someone of good character would be somebody who shows up candidly and authentically in the values that they believe. Now, you get to choose whether or not that's a value system you subscribe to or whether or not you want to participate in that particular value. Whether or not people show up in good values or not, or good character or not, I would say this. We live in a society that quickly judges based on appearance, and first impressions matter. And so unintentionally or intentionally over time, we have prioritized personality over character. And personality is really about first impressions. It's about painting this world to others, about how your life looks. That may or may not be accurate to the way your life looks. And so because we have prioritized our appearance, or what I would call the ideal self, we very often have lost sight of our real self, which is the character that we show up in, meaning the values that we truly operate from. And so because of that, we could say then that it appears that there has been a decrease in moral character. Whether or not we can quantify that accurately or not, I don't know. But it certainly appears that way because of how connected we are and how information transfers so fast. And so that can create problems. The ultimate kind of solution to that in my world is people to get to know who they truly are, to take a accurate and consistent check-in on their values and how they choose to show up in the world, and live in awareness, which allows them radical honesty, which then invites them into responsibility. And so to me, that's the path forward: awareness, honesty, responsibility. And that's how we get on a path where people are showing up in integrity, and it's much, much easier to navigate the world.